Hey team, I wanted to share an overview of the matrix tables feature that we have in RAMP. Customers can create matrix tables with their own names and their custom sets of inputs and outputs. Let's say that I want to have 2 levels of department level approvers. I can do department and I can add multiple approvers here. So I can have a department table that has an approver and an approver 2. Then I can create this matrix table. I'll immediately see all of the department options here, and I'll have the ability to update the members of the table like this. I can also do bulk updates if I need to edit just the values for approver 2, or I can delete specific rows if they aren't necessary. Additionally, we have full change history for when changes were made to various parts of the matrix table. We're being told that our 2 output columns are not being used yet, and we can go to the Needs Setup tab to get a clear call to action on what we're supposed to do. In this case, we can go to our expense policy and set up a workflow that uses our 2 approvers. We can say department approvers, and we can create our group. We'll immediately see that we have our department level approvers for both approver and approver 2 as options for approval groups in our workflow. We also have the ability to create a workflow condition to say things like if the approver has an exactly matching value, then we can say that we should require that person, the department level approver. And we can do the same thing to duplicate it for the approver 2 instead. Once again, we can do has an exactly matching value. There are other options here as well, but for the sake of this, let's just save this workflow. Once we've done this, we can go back to our matrices and we'll be able to see, there we go. We'll be able to see that we no longer have that banner and we can actually see which approval policies are using our matrix. So this is an example of where we can do a pretty simple case, but matrices can get much more complex. For example, we can set up a approval matrix with multiple input fields. In this case, we're mapping from both a department and a location to an approver. So even if the product department has multiple approvers who differ based on the location, we can still represent that in our matrix instead of having to represent it in a normal approval workflow. In addition to handling simple approval cases like that, we can also do additional approvers for things like vendors, business entities, or even employees, or our QuickBooks Online or other accounting fields. Let's say that we want to have different approvers based on the let's do entity. Let's have different approvers, and let's also have an approval threshold column. In this case, we can have entity approvers with amounts. And when we create our matrix table, we'll have the ability, in this case, we won't automatically fill things in, but we do still have the ability to bulk upload our data. But we can also quick add like this, and we can say for Save Time Inc. up to $500, the approver should be Elizabeth. However, for Save Time Inc., if it's up to $1,000, our approver should be someone else, and we can set up a final one for Save Time Inc. for our fallback case. This case is for any amount. David Wallace is the right person to be our approver. I'm going to quickly set up the Save Money Inc. one to have a bunch of people just to do so. And then we can go set this up as well and look at an example of how it works. Let's go to expense reviews and let's say entity with amounts in this case. So we'll notice that we actually have an additional option under the require any now, sequential matrix approver. This allows us to create escalating approval steps based on the matrix table. And so in this case, once we pick a transaction, let's say we have the 7-Eleven one, and our entity is for Save Money Inc. It's a bunch of people, but let's change this one to Save Time Inc. And the amount here is a pretty small amount. And so we'll see that we only have one. Okay, wait, we want Save Money Inc. Okay, with Save Money Inc. Oh, I see. I was changing the accounting entity, but we actually want to be changing the business entity here. But once we change it to be Save Time Inc., we'll see that this is Elizabeth because Elizabeth was the first approver. But if we update our amount here so that instead of being under $500, it's $600, we'll actually have multiple approvers in a row. First, we have Elizabeth, and then we have Jan. And if we update this to be a very large amount, we'll see that we go all the way up to David, who has no approval limit. So by being able to set up sequential matrix approvals, we can represent much more complex org charts and approval requirements that would otherwise be difficult to represent in our approval workflows. This works for both bill pay and traditional workflows and for things like the procurement canvas. In addition to being able to use matrix tables to do approvals, we can also have our matrix tables handle automatically filtering or coding. Let's say that we want to set up a filtering workflow that changes which QuickBooks categories apply based on the ramp department. We can do ramp department to QBO category. And we'll see, once again, we have all of our departments over here, and we have our QuickBook categories over here. We can select multiple, we can set up the categories like so, and there are two options when we have a matrix table whose output is an accounting field. In this case, when we click the setup, it brings us over here and shows us two options. We can configure a filtering workflow or an advanced rule. With an advanced rule, we can actually say something like, if there is an exactly matching value, then we want to use our matrix, and we can automatically apply the QuickBooks category for the department to category matrix. And we can save this, and it will automatically update our expenses so that for departments where there is exactly one QuickBooks category, we'll automatically code the department as the QuickBooks category as such. We can also set up filtering workflows. Instead of having the matrix automatically make the coding decisions, in this case, we'll have an option to filter by a matrix, and we can pick the matrix column that's relevant to this tracking category. Once we've done this, we'll note that we only will see options that show up for that ramp department. So if we find an expense that's part of the customer success ramp department, we'll only see these three options for coding. This allows customers to manage these types of mappings at scale, and they can do it by uploading their data via CSV, or they can use the developer API or just the plain UI. Additionally, all of this can be managed thanks to the new Durable Agent. We have an agent that has the ability to read and write to matrix tables and make changes. This makes it even easier for customers to describe what they want with natural language without even needing to open their workflow to make substantive changes to how things are set up. Once the workflow is configured once, they can change how their company wants to think about these fields without changing the workflow each and every time. Thanks.